Alright guys, hopefully you can hear us. It's a little bit windy up here, but I thought since we had a bunch of time at home, if you have somebody you can practice with, maybe some of these things will help you. And what we're going to go over is just some real basic shot mechanics so that you can apply them to some moves that are overused in the game, and these are like better ways to do it so that you're protecting yourself and you're getting a higher quality fight. So one of the very first things we're going to talk about is the high cross, and I preach that this doesn't exist.
High cross does not exist.
I preach it. However, I'm going to show you guys how I throw the high cross and where I recover from in case I throw the shot. That way I'm as protected in that box as possible. So for the first one, I'm going to have Miranda go ahead and stand right about here. And this is her standard shield size. This is 30-inch deck. It's very large. It's very difficult to throw a shot over the top of it. And so her only open position is out here on this shoulder. It's very deep. So if I come across for high cross and she's standing properly, what happens is we run into the sword, or we try to shoot between here and we run into the shield. So I need to get that shot open, and to get that open, I need her to move this direction away from her shoulder. Now we could do that with a lot of just small steps and bounces towards the shield side, or we can fake the direction of motion and then still throw the shot from one spot. And what we're going to do is, instead of reaching out over the top of our shield and throwing a high cross, this is bad, it baits the arm, right? And it turns into whoever throws the high cross first is about to get high crossed. So we don't want to do that. What we want to do is we want to throw the high cross first and get the kill immediately, or at least land the arm for the follow-up. Easy follow-ups are going to be low in the leg, so I'm going to show you guys kind of what I intend to see done there. To get the shot, I like to reach across my body with my shield, because this is the direction I'm going to travel. This leaves my other shoulder open. To protect that, we come across here, and now that shoulder is not open anymore, and my arm is behind my shield, so I'm protecting the high cross, right? And I will do that by stepping towards her into the shield instead of away from her into the shield. So the shot looks like this. And did that land?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to have her switch sides with me. I'm going to do it again to show you guys what it should look like a little bit. Hopefully you can see her shoulder out here. So go ahead and pick yourself up. And what I'm doing is I'm stepping into the shield side, moving my shield across her plane of vision and across my arm. At the same time, I lean up and over the shield side, and that creates the illusion of motion. And then I throw the shot. So when I come in, I go like that. And it protects the arm, and it throws it way on the outside. So if I don't land the shoulder, and I snipe this arm out here, the very next thing you should do is reset to your proper position and just throw low, because that's a double, right? So you're either going to get the immediate kill or you're going to get the double. So the high protection for the shot is proper, but you don't want to lock your shield in front of your face. You want it over here where your line of sight isn't being obscured. You're trying to drag them into the high cross. It is an automatic response for people to throw a high cross after being high crossed. So if she thinks that a high cross is coming, she's going to throw a high cross.
Well,
that's going to meet a shield. And so if you step into the target and you throw that, then you've protected yourself, created this fake motion, and you're still throwing on the outside. So that's the high cross protection. Now, while I say the high cross doesn't exist, if you're not throwing it like that, you should not be throwing that shot.
High cross does not exist.
Okay.
I've heard that so many times in the past 2 years, it's ridiculous.
So one of the other shots that we could talk about a little bit is this outside hip sector here. And a lot of people like to throw this shot over here. And when you do it, you're usually coming out from behind your deck, which is bad. This means you're going to get hit. And you're going like this, and you're trying to pop that hip. Well, that's fine, except when I turn, I'm creating this huge opening position to be struck in my back with a high cross, which you should be protecting anyway, or just a basic slot straight down on my arm. These will both kill me. So to protect that shot, a lot of you are familiar with this, which is the same principle. You're protecting your body, and then throwing a shot. Now I use a very small shield, so it's a lot easier for me to move around it for this outside hit. But we need to get this in. So the dark side is an effective technique, but what I want to talk about is how to properly protect that dark side and how to create the illusion of motion again. So when we're doing that, one of the first things I'll do is set something high, even if that is a small bait, a forward motion to this high shoulder, right? Keeping all the time my shield in between this sword. I never extend. I want her to bait. If I can throw here, she throws there, nothing bad happens. So if it doesn't bait, there's no worries about it not baiting. If I come in and I throw the loop and she throws, nothing bad happens. We still need this to open. So we want to make sure when we're baiting, we're creating an illusion of motion. I'll step towards this direction to get even just an inch of shield play. If her hips move to meet the target, we can immediately come underneath. The shield crosses our body to protect this outside shoulder because high cross is dominant in the game. They're probably going to respond high cross. When you step to the side, bring the sword straight back across. It goes under and straight back. It doesn't go way over here. It has nothing to do for you here. It comes down just enough to create a straight line. The shield moves over, this opens the shot, and you just pull the sword across into the hip, and you should be able to see it. So you do it quickly. When you do this, it's fine. When you jump across, the sword is now protecting the side of your body you're concerned about. It's forcing her to throw low legs or to hit my sword. If she wants to come in deep, she has to come in really deep. And she has to come in really deep. I mean, I cannot explain to you how deep she has to come in to get that shot because the sword's in the way and she's about to have it thrown at her. This is enough to protect you from the target. It doesn't mean that you're safe 100%. No one is ever 100% safe, but it's the safest you could throw that shot. So you step towards their shield, across your body. This outside leg never moves, so I can hinge. I can step right back to where I was and pop this hip. The other way to throw that shot, another protected way to throw that shot, is to come into the target and actually throw something on this upper outside of the shield away from the sword to open this hip. Now, they're as far away from each other in sectors as possible, so the sword has a huge amount of motion. To get the least amount of motion out of the shot so I can come in and cut this hip out, we step towards the target, and we never actually come out from behind the shield, and we're only coming in to the low middle portion of my shield, and then back, not all the way across. So to throw that, we come in here, where we're stepping towards the target. Our arm never comes out from behind our shield. We're reaching down because this looks like a shot. So we come in off the front of the shield and then bring it back across. And the whole time, you're standing behind your shield like this. It is an illusion of motion. So those are probably the two most dominant shots that people aren't protecting because they're coming in and they're throwing them here, which is bad. Or you're coming in and you're going like this without bringing your shield across your arm to protect you. So those are both shots that you can take with you.
To do with this big ass
it's a big shield. I told you I don't like big shields. So these are ways you can protect yourself in those combat situations where you're throwing moves that you're used to throwing. Start throwing them this way and you'll have more success with them. One of the other things that I want to talk about a little bit is proper spin mechanics. I see a lot of people want to spin. I don't think a lot of people know why they're spinning or how to spin. So when you first start out throwing spin shots on somebody, go ahead and pick your shield up. When you start out throwing spins, one of the things that happens is you have these huge reads before you do anything. For a spin to be effective, it has to be just as effective as this. It can't be more travel than the diameter of her shield. 30 inches is plenty of motion for a sword. If I need to go farther than 30 inches, she better have a tower shield. So for us to throw a proper spin, the first thing we need to know is that as soon as we extend our arm, we're vulnerable. So the spin actually doesn't come until after the shot has already been thrown, essentially. It's hard to explain, but it's easy to demonstrate. So what you have to do is create a sense of motion that will make her go away from the side you're spinning on. So I like to spin on this sword side hip. This is a huge spin for me. This is one that I see thrown a lot, and there's good reason for it. This is an effective shot. To get that shot to open, I step towards the shield because this is protective. We're combative, she's probably gonna high cross. I spin and I throw the shield behind my back. Now, when you do it, keep your hand against your body and do not take your hand off your body, and that will spin your shield. The bigger your shield, the better this will work. If you are using a domed deck, it will work even better. These are old turtle shell techniques. Dome shields are a preference in spinning. They do not move around as well. They spin around really well. So again, it's here, here. And so when we spin, we step one way, spin the other way so that we're catching the attack. When you spin on your target, don't spin straight forward. This leaves us where we were, and I have to rebuttal the attack, and now I'm closed in. She can just start throwing shots. Spin away from your target or towards your target at an angle so that you're giving yourself more to fight with. So come in, fake the motion, spin the outside. I'm outside of her range, and the shot comes in over here. If it comes in low, you've legged the target, they're not gonna advance on you. If they take dead leg alive, step forward, chop the leg again and kill them. If they drop and they turtle, walk away from them. Come back later when you feel like killing them. That spin works.
Leg them and leave them.
The other spin that you can throw does not come out here. So in and down and around the shield, here, spin. The other spin we can throw comes well after the spin. If you're throwing and spinning, it's throw, then spin. Otherwise, you want to spin, then throw. We're looking for high accuracy, not high yield. We're not trying to throw a bunch of shit together at once. We're throwing shit together that works. So when we do the other spin, I do the same thing, but I will intentionally pop the top of the deck and separate from myself to give myself distance, or I will come in and set here and very intentionally with a short step move to the outside of the target because she knows this can hit her. So to block, she has to turn her body or move that shield. Whichever she chooses is beneficial to me because the next thing that happens when you throw a shot is the target throws a shot. Gravy. So what we're gonna do is step into your target, accept the exchange, turn, here's your other exchange. She swings, it hits shield. If she swings anything else, she's probably gonna hit me in the back of the fucking head. Okay. So what we're gonna do in this motion, 1, 2, 3, and you come off the back of yourself here. Okay? Shield blocks here. You can step through the target and be behind them. You can spin back into direction and create 2 senses of motion. So stand towards me. If I go here, 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 this opens up. If I turn back into this direction, she's still in the right spot, and if I threw low leg, I'm in a bad spot. So when you uncurl, step all the way through the direction you went. This will put you behind your target, hopefully.
He has smacked me with that shot numerous occasions. I have yet to find a way to make it stop.
You hit them before they spin.
Well, yeah, there is that.
If you're running into a player who is consistently spinning against you while we're on the topic, I will show you right now the easiest way to stop them from spinning. So go ahead and pick your stuff up. Okay, you're gonna spin. I know you're gonna spin because I've been watching you spin all day at the park. So we come up to fight, you get ready for a spin, and the minute I see it faint, I just hit you in the leg. Now the reason I do that is because if I hit that leg and you take a step, you've already broken the rules. So I'm not gonna take the next shot because you broke the rules. If you're in motion and you can't stop spinning, maybe I will, but it won't really matter because that should be enough to get them to stop. and we're in between them now, and we know they're gonna spin, you just shuffle, throw the low leg, fuck them. Stop spinning on me. It's hard to hit a target that's spinning because you don't want to hit them in the head, and most of the open shots are perceived to be high when all of the open shots on a spin are actually very low. They can't stop you from hitting them in the leg when they're trying to move their shield around in their upper torso, right? Leg shots stop here when we go low. Well, they're not going to do that. So as soon as they feint, move the sword down like you were going to dark side, hit that low leg. If you see them spin this direction, just reach out and pop that fucking leg. That will stop someone from spinning. Initially. Once they're on the ground, they may continue trying to spin, but you're not required to fight them. You can just walk away. So I almost guarantee you can get away from him before he can get to you on his knees. If you hit him in the leg and he freezes, and he says dead leg, you just tap that leg again and they die. That's the end of that. So don't be afraid of people that are spinning. Just identify readily that they're going to spin. You should be able to hit them first. Almost 100% of the time, just come in low, chop that fucking leg. Be done with that. So those are almost definitely the three things I see people doing a lot that they're not protecting themselves properly in. When you spin, make sure you're spinning to the side of the opponent. Go away from them, don't stay in their face. If you're throwing spins, become familiar with your spin before you start throwing it and why it works the way it works. Otherwise, you're just throwing them in a straight line. And that doesn't matter because this shot is this shot and nothing changes. She's still just going to stand there and block this. So I need her to move. So you make sure you're moving your target around. If you're throwing a high cross, protect your high cross. Look over the top of your shield. Look for your target. Step through them. Throw the shot. If you're gonna throw a dark side, make sure that you're coming in with crisp motions. Don't come in here like this. This is a second too long, and very literally, if she just pops this sword, it moves across my arms, and it crosses my arms. Don't cross your body like this where you're touching. If you're gonna come across yourself, you need to make sure that you're freed up in your motion. If you're locked up to yourself real tight and they hit your sword, all they're going to do is move it behind your shield and make it unusable. It's the same thing when you're standing out here and we stand with our sword in front of our shield like this. That way when she hits my sword, the sword stays in front of me. It's not tied up. If I put it over here behind my shield and I come in here, now what? Now what am I going to do? And that does happen.
He's hit me in my head so many times with my own sword, it's ridiculous.
Absolutely. If you see somebody put their sword too far, so if you dark side too far, and I come in here and I go like this, you can't get your sword out. If I catch it down low and you come in crisp, but you're still behind your shield, you're still tied up. I can go like this and step in and bat your sword straight down, and you're going to lose all the power that you need to throw anything but my ankle. And even if you throw it, you may not have enough power to actually have landed a shot. We have audible pop, minimal impact. So when you play around those rules, you have to really make sure that you're throwing a shot with some level of power, and you could deprive power because somebody's tangled up behind their shield. So it's important that you're protecting your shot, right? But you're not crossing your arms together. Don't keep them together. Keep them in positions where when I step across and I throw this, I'm clear to unload again. I don't ever want to get tied up to myself. That will end very poorly 100% of the time. So that's really basic ways to improve some shots that are heavily used in the game. I hope this video has helped, and I will come back with another video shortly, and we're going to demonstrate some more Florentine, some pole. I'm going to get a chain out. I'm going to show you guys how to really protect the basic shot patterns that you throw so that you're getting a more protected fight, which is a longer fight and a better fight. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.